going to be put on our YouTube channel. That's probably one of our biggest changes this year, additions, is the YouTube channel. So check it out. There's lots there. First off, I'm just going to start with introducing my amazing team. A few of them couldn't be here tonight. Kathy's on holidays. Can you imagine who'd want to go on holidays during Survivorfest weekend? But she probably doesn't want to see all the money that we're spending. But Kathy is an important part of the team to make sure that we're following our budgets and that we have a good chunk of money going to Saffron Center at the end of this weekend. Another person that's not here that you're going to see lots of this weekend is Sam. She's our volunteer coordinator. She's been working hard to gather up volunteers, especially those that are dropping out because of a certain game that's happening on Saturday. But I can rest assured that we're going to talk about that a little bit more later on. Um, and then Phil, my husband, I can't do all this shit without Phil and my husband. So he's not here tonight, but you're gonna see a lot of him around the track as well. He's the complete opposite of me, really quiet. Um, but feel free to go up to him and ask him any questions and he will talk. And the other important person on this Zoom call is Mike B. And we have to be distinct because we have two mics on our team. So Mike B is the guy who's doing all the live streaming, who asked you for all of the goodies and information that he's going to share with our audiences uh, online during our live stream. He's also been the one that's been creating all those great videos on YouTube. And I believe there's a blooper reel that's going to be at some point released of him and I. Anyways, more me than him. Another important member of the team that I'm not seeing on here is Eva. She is going to be around, I believe, on Friday and on Sunday as well, but she's a volunteer extraordinaire that is also associated with Ride for Dads. So she's going to be away on the Saturday, but around on Sunday whenever we need some extra energy. The other member of our team is Andrea. She is our marketing social media master that I have appreciated so much this year. Um, and the other person is Erica, of course, who is my side girl, my side hustle, is my detail girl. I mean, she brings me, no, Laura, we got it, and makes everything smooth as butter at Survivorfest. And those virtual athlete seminars are her pride and joy. And if you haven't seen them yet, I encourage you to go because there's lots of great information in there to prepare you and ease all those anxieties that you're experiencing right now. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Oh yeah, Mike M. He's on his way up from Florida. If you guys do not know Mike Melton, you're in for a treat. He is the best of the best. The guy is has flawlessly times our events. Even though there's some tricks to it, he knows his stuff. And we had just a smooth event last year and it was so relaxing because he knows his stuff. And he will be there to have fun with you and he joins our team as soon as he gets here to Sherwood Park. So other than that, I'm gonna go right into the other because we're all busy and I'm sure all of you want to get to bed because you should be getting lots of sleep, just the rest of the rest of the team here. So the big thing about this weekend is that athletes are number one. When it comes to any of the rules, it's so that race day is for you and your goals, and that's what it all comes back to. Um, so then the second rule is just being really respectful of the team that has made this event for you. We've worked really hard. We're super excited to have you guys come for the weekend, and we are just wanting to make you have the best race weekend ever. And so I'm just going to address the Oilers game right now. Because it's a bit of a distraction. And like I said, it's caused a few of our volunteers to decide to withdraw. But don't worry, the race, well, actually it's not really the race team. There's a covert operation going on that involves some Starlink, some tents, and some TVs, so that the game is going to be at the track. Now, again, this is where I remind you, it goes back to the athletes being number one. So that means that your friends and your crew have to be looking after you. So we may go under the tent and um, gently, encourage the crew to make sure that they're watching out for you. If you're on the track worried that they're not, replenishing whatever they need to be doing, but we are going to try. I'm not sorry, not we. There's a covert operation going on of that's going to start happening once the race is go. And so I don't know any other details other than there's something happening and that the game will be at the track somehow. Um, so the other thing is race package pickup is going to be happening on Friday from 4 until 8. It's going to be at the track right off of the parking lot that's on Clover Bar Road. If you want more specifics, again, go to the YouTube channel. Mike and I did a video to orientate you. The kids' races will be from 6 until 7. If you guys have kids, I encourage you to have them sign up because we've got crumb cookies that is giving every kid a cookie. I haven't had a crumb cookie, but I've heard they're amazing cookies. And thank you, Jess, for getting all your kids involved. I'm going to be sweeping the kids, so I won't be around to answer any of your questions at Race Package Pickup during that time because I'm going to be celebrating and running around with the kids. And then you're going to go home and you're going to try and get some sleep, just like the crew is going to try and get some sleep. And then you can start setting up at 7 o'clock. I think I may have told a few athletes that they could start setting up at 6. I was wrong, and please don't come to the track at 6. The race crew will be there, but we need some time to just get some stuff set up ourselves. And then if you guys want to show up at 7, that would be great. There's lots of time. There's no need for you guys to be at the track at 6 o'clock. There's not really any need for the crew, but we're gonna be up worried anyway, so we might as well be at the track. Um, and then 8:30, we'd like everybody to be checked in by that time. You'll get your timing chips before your race start, like about an hour to 30 minutes before race start. So like I said, if you're starting at 9 a.m., I want everybody around that track at 8:30. You're definitely going to be set up by 8:30. And then after that, we're going to have a land acknowledgement. We're going to have the national anthem sang to us by a special guy from the Oilers. And no, it's not Connor McDavid. And then the race is going to start at 9. We'll have a little debriefing, just like some odd last minute reminders. Um, Now, the other part of the rules that if you've never done a timed running event or you've never done an event at the track, there's a lot of questions revolving around the track itself and the inside lane. everybody wants that inside lane on Loop A. And so the nice thing is with the track environment is there's no single track, and so everybody gets pretty um, um, not bunched. I've lost the word. But it gets spread out really quickly. And so if most of you will be going your top speed probably during that first hour, and you'll find your rhythm. And if you're going at that fast speed, hug that inside lane. Let the other athletes go around you. Don't be like trying to zigzag and try and guess where they're coming from behind. Um, that first hour or two is when the communication between the athletes really starts happening, and the athletes that have been there before will start talking to you and telling you kind of the rules and what helps them, and you get into a rhythm. And again, it goes back to that rule of respect. Athletes are number one, and then number two is respect, and just be really respectful. You're going to be together for a long time. You don't want to be making enemies or being nasty to one another in that first hour. Um, and I've never seen that actually happen. So it's actually a beautiful thing to witness. And I'll never forget the first year that I went onto the track to make sure everybody was following the rules, and I was told by one of the athletes, "Oh no, 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 Laura, we got this all under control." And they did. It's really amazing how the teamwork starts happening within that first hour. And so just listen to your other athletes and be respectful of each other and the goals that you're doing. Um, it doesn't matter if your goal is to get 100 miles, then you want that inside lap. We don't want you on lane the third lane, because you're just wasting mileage. So stick to that inside, and the athletes will just keep going around you. Um, Now Loop B is going to be a little bit different this year. We just got our IAU bronze label, so it might be me uh the pylons might be a little bit different. It might be measured out it's just going to be a little more distinct. It hasn't changed really. It's just that we have to set out more pylons, more indicators of where athletes need to be running that route to make sure that if they are going for a record or trying to qualify for a team, that we're making sure that they're getting the mileage done properly. There's 3 timing mats. There's 2 of those timing mats that are on the track. There's another timing mat that's out in the middle of Loop B, and there's volunteers sitting right beside it. Um, there's going to be lots of volunteers out on course, like course marshals, making sure that you're going in the right direction, turning where you're supposed to be going. And I mean, after a few laps, you're pretty much knowing where you're going. That's the nice thing about this, is that all of a sudden you can mentally kind of shut off and start making new friends and socializing. Um, Now another thing about athletes being number one and being respectful, we love family, we love pets, we love kids. We want more spectators. We think this event is just a spectacular running event. It's probably the least boring running event that anyone's ever going to be a part of. But at the same time, we have to have everybody respecting those loops. And so that's another reason why we have volunteers on the on both Loop A and Loop B to make sure that nobody's getting in the way of athletes. Last year and maybe the year before, we had a little more. Even I enjoyed having the kids on the track, and that can't be happening this year. As fun as it can sometimes be, other athletes don't think it's as fun. So we're really going to be trying to, yeah, make sure that nobody encourages Laura to be dancing with kids on the track. Um, and other than that, the lighting is not going to be the same on Loop B as it was last year. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the same light standards. So if you want to have a headlamp, pack that just in case. Um, I run in that area quite often in the early mornings or the late night, and I find that the lighting is just fine with the street lights, but your vision may be different, so just pack a headlight to be sure. The weather is looking spectacular, super hot. We're gonna have lots of ice on site thanks to a great sponsor, Claysmore. We've never ran out of ice. There's going to be lots of freezies, but it also gets pretty cold at night. So make sure that you bring a hat and some gloves. It seems silly in June, but after being in the heat of the day, sometimes you can feel pretty cold at night. And if you're walking, and it can especially feel a bit colder. We do have rooms where you can go in to get a little bit warm. If you want to bring a sleeping bag, we don't really want you to do that, but at the same time, sometimes that's what the race day may bring for you, right? So um, just uh, just come prepared. Erica, is there anything I'm missing? I'm just going to go through some of the rules and see if there's anything else that I've.
I think you hit all the key points there, that just be some extra confidence marking or compliance marking on Loop B, which we're really excited to see this be really successful. This was a lot of work to get this done. So thank you to those who made that happen. We do have some guidance in there in terms of pacing. I found over the years that I've been involved, I'm usually there. I'm your go-to person at nighttime. So when Laura goes home during the day, I take the lead position with Mike Melton, the timer, kind of in the evening. So to be a point of contact for the other volunteers and anybody else who's got questions or crew. And I really think that pacing that is done by crew or family, it's often just inadvertent. It's excited. You're running along inside the track with them for a bit. You want to chat with them. You want to, maybe they're in a downward spiral. And it's usually just a quick reminder. So just a reminder that that is not authorized. Athlete to athlete running together, that's totally fine. And that's within the rules whatsoever. So if that does happen and people need a reminder, that's our job to kind of approach family and crew and just to say, oh, I hate to do this, but you should really only be running just a short length with them to sort of need what they need. And otherwise that could jeopardize their race, and they're usually like just mortified. And some of the crew has been athletes, actually, like really good runners who just don't realize what they're doing. So it's a different set of rules in that track environment. And so we're just there to do friendly reminders. We're really there to support you, to make sure that if the crew or your family or crew identifies anything, that we're there to help you. We have really qualified some good first aiders on throughout. They do have some decent supplies. It's not the luxury of every supply, but we do have some taping, and we do have some cleaning and some bandages and some supplies there, some wraps if there's anything like a twist or anything. So we do have that on site there. If you have anything specific that you really require, like you love a certain type of rock tape or K tape, put that into your drop bag and bring that over to first aid. We do have some in there, just can't guarantee how long that will last for the evening. We're there to help with your crew, and during the nighttime, we usually bring in a couple of hot food items. We know we have some gluten sensitivities, and we have some vegan vegetarians as well. So we try to offer options for both in the evening. If there's something particular that you feel that you need to be successful for your race and you can only eat in a certain thing, or you have intolerances to things, it's always best to try to supply that yourself and bring that. in your drop bags and in your crew area. And because we are, we are across the street from a 7-Eleven, the Strathcona Athletic Park, and we are well within the confines of Skip the Dishes and Uber Eats. So if your crew is even looking for some sustenance for themselves as well, they can certainly, we can help with anything with navigation and what kind of might be good restaurants and things in the areas to order from. So again, just please reach out during the day or the night for anything we can do, because we're just so excited and we work all year to make this event super successful for you. So that's all I had to offer.
Yeah. And so there was a question about pacing on Loop B. Um, it's very restricted. Like from one course marshal to the other, you can walk with your friend, your athlete, and then you gotta go into the infield or yeah, it's just we just it just can't happen, unfortunately. Another question was timing. Yes, we did have major timing issues a couple years back, and I can assure you that Mike Melton knows exactly what he's doing, and that's why we've hired the best. So there is a backup plan for sure. Um, there's another question. Uh, Yeah, I mean, if there's any questions that do pop up in the meantime, please go to the YouTube channel and most of the videos I think are pretty explain everything. And Sean, you had a question. Yeah, we might as well take questions and get to know each other.
Yeah, so just rather than typing away, you were talking about hugging the inside lap, and I assume you're speaking to Loop A people. For people on Loop B, we are not to hug the inside lane. Like we're restricted to so the third lane minimum.
That's right. That's
Okay,
right. So in
understood.
fact, loop B, you're going to want to be hugging the outside of the track is what
Understood.
you're going to want to be doing. Um, There may be more specifics after tomorrow. Phil is meeting with Dave Keenan, who helped us measure the track for the IAU bronze label. I don't think it's going to be that much different from what you see on the map. Um, but I don't want to say anything in case I contradict what Dave's going to be telling Phil. And but we'll make sure that it's clearly marked so that the big thing about these looped timed events is making sure that athletes aren't um, doing extra distance, right? So like on loop A, we don't necessarily want athletes in that third lane. But at the same time, if you're going to be chatting away kind of like a team of horses, then yeah, you need to get into that third lane because there's athletes that want to qualify for teams and records. But if you're aiming for 100 miles and you're going at a good pace, stick to hug that inside lane because athletes they'll just really like very just go around you and they might not even go into lane two. But again, you'll see how there's lots of communication that happens and yeah, I'm really interested to see how this affects Loop B with
Yeah.
the labeling and the input from Dave Keenan for sure. Yeah.
And also just with there's lots of questions always about turnarounds if you haven't competed in one of these events. Turnarounds can be a bit of a mental hurdle to overcome when you're trying to imagine or visualize what's happening. Mike Melton, there's a race briefing just before your each individual interval race start, and he will go through what the turnaround's like. And then during the race itself, we have volunteers and race marshals who will help coordinate that as well. So really, you just need to follow the direction of especially Mike Melton and any race volunteers if you're not sure about what way to go. And that sometimes comes up for the Loop B athletes because you may be out on your loop during turnaround time. And so you'll get that instruction when you return back in to do your one lap around the track of what to do. So we will cover that there. I do see there's a question in chat from Linda, Laura.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So, Mike Melton's board, this guy's like so amazing. And he's actually, so funny story, Erica and I felt like we hit the lottery because Mike Melton has timed at so many events down in the States. It was very popular at the Aravaipa events across the years. And so Erica has been to those events and she would come and tell me, this is what we need at our timed running events. And it was mostly around what Mike Melton brought, like in terms of timing. And so Erica can, I don't watch the screen, but the time is on his screen, your distance, your lap, because he has the timing strip set up in such a way that by the time you come to his screen, it's recorded what you have just done. So
And
it's
your distance is
and it's
constantly
yeah,
updated.
and it's a big screen, like it's bigger than the one that we had the first couple years. He yeah, literally, you guys are in for a treat because this guy is definitely a running celebrity down
He
in the state.
definitely knows how to catch
Yeah.
blips or any issues with the timing as well. So if there's a perceived discrepancy that athlete or crew are finding, they can go up and we have a complete resolution process. And so they can go up and flag one of the race team volunteers. And we will go up and we'll navigate that with the timer, but he's excellent in terms of, looking at the data and seeing if there's been blips that were inadvertent or, we've had excellent, I can't say enough about this. If there is one thing that your race team feels super confident about always, it certainly won't be the weather, but it will be 100% the timing. And so we are truly blessed to have him.
Yep, for sure. Any other questions? None? Wow, you guys really want to get to bed.
One, I'm sure this is covered in YouTube, but because we're live here,
Yeah.
this is as noob a question as it gets. It's very first timed event, and it's about transitions on and off the track, food, bathrooms, etc. How is that managed? I'm having trouble understanding how that works.
Yeah, there is a YouTube video on that.
Okay, then
I'm assuming,
I will pick it up.
Sean, that you're on Loop B, but it's okay. This is great. This is a great place to ask those questions. I mean, because others probably have the same question. The big thing is wherever you go off the track, you need to come back onto the track at that spot. So I'm assuming you're Loop B. Okay, so actually, Loop B is not shown in the video because we were focusing more on Loop A and how Loop A athletes need to be really careful when they come off the track to be careful of Loop B athletes. But Loop B athletes can actually go into the washrooms, probably like, yeah, it's a little more lenient, but it's right in front of the washrooms basically. But the big thing is making sure that you come back onto the track at the same spot. And like Erica said, the turnaround, like to complete your lap if you were out. So it's actually a sidewalk between a couple schools. If you were between those schools when the time the like it is a bit confusing the first couple turnarounds that happen, but then after the other athletes will help you as well, especially later on in the event because everybody's a little bit tired and yeah, it's I think that's the most beautiful thing about these events is the teamwork that happens between the athletes and each other helping and telling stories and supporting one another. And it's really amazing. Yeah, for sure.
Hi, Laura. Sorry.
That's okay.
I got a question. So, because I know, like, we can set up in that little ice rink and everything, sort of thing, I guess, for Loop B.
Yes.
Uh, so,
Okay.
Is there any particular like limits how long we can be there? Like I'm just trying to figure it out. I've just never done your event before, so
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Limits on.
so if I go to my tent or my
Oh,
place to pick up stuff and then is there anything saying that you're not allowed to be there longer than X amount of time or it's completely up to us?
it is completely up to the athletes. We do ask that you just let us know, just especially Mike, the timing person, and just so that we have an idea that and we don't go searching for you, right? Especially if you're on
Yeah,
loop
so
B. But no, that's the other beauty of these timed running events is that you can come and go. Actually, you can even go to Mike M and say, I'm going back to my hotel room for a nap. Here's my timing chip. Go to your hotel room, have a nap, and come back, get your timing chip and go. We actually do have an athlete that is working the Oiler game. So they're going to be starting with us on Saturday morning and then leaving to go to work. And then they're going to be coming back to finish the 24-hour event. So it's, yeah, I remember even the first year when I was writing up the rules and I had an athlete that had done various timed running events, told me this rule, and I was blown away. Um, yeah, and so
Um,
it's one of
so
the little quirks.
they're better hold their bomb to make sure they get enough loops, you know what I mean?
And
Yeah, actually,
I will say that if you do go for a cat nap or a power nap, you know, in your tent area, or in a chair, or you just, you know, go hunker into the warm space for a little bit. If you're not sure, it's always good to check with, you know, to try to remember what direction that you were running.
oh, yeah.
And if you crash out and all of a sudden you wake up and we've already done a turnaround, it's really good to check with one of the volunteers and or they'll come and grab Mike if they're not sure and we need to resolve it. So we're there to make sure that you get onto the right track there.
Good point, Erica. Yep, for sure.
And there is a question, Laura, in chat about group
Was there?
the
Where do Loop
setup.
B? Oh, yes. So Loop B athletes, they've got two different options. They can set up, there's an ice rink that's located just beside Loop B. You can set up tents or an aid station for yourself or crew there, or you can do it outside of the track. If you look at the map, it'll indicate, and we'll let you know also on Saturday morning where you're able to set up your tent. I see Mike McKenzie's here. There was one year where the sprinklers went off in the field. That will not be happening. We've reminded the county. So that little fun memory that we had at midnight.
We lost your
Yep.
audio.
So that I think it was, what was it, Mike, 2022 that the
Yeah,
sprinklers went off?
yeah,
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah, that
Yep.
won't be
Great.
happening. So no sprinkler surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Etienne had a comment about the people who had rented the tents. Those are largely our Loop A athletes anyhow. So
Mhm.
that's part of the reason that your race team needs some time to set up. So you'll be on the front side of the track. So the nearest when you enter into the track area, the closest side to the washroom, and we just navigate several spots and our race team sort of has some signs and we'll start staking out some spots so that if we don't get them all set up at that time, then people understand because Loop B is generally, we ask that they go on the far side, but they can sort of start to navigate on the corners as well. We just want to make sure that there's room for all. But we do set up and have those tents set up for those out of province athletes.
Any other questions? Music requests are welcome. We're going to have a DJ there that's going to take music requests and be chatting all day long from our local radio station, Sound Sugar Radio. Okay. Did any of my team have any other tidbits of information that they wanted to share? Otherwise, we'll say goodnight.
Jan just had a question around if
Oh.
it's specific times for turnarounds or every so many hours.
Oh yeah, so I can't remember which event that they're registered for, but turnarounds are every 4 hours for the 24 and 12-hour events, and then every 3 hours for the 6-hour. We've got the schedule so that all of the turnarounds happen at the same time. So the 6 hours are actually happening alongside the 12-hour and the 24 hours. It works out really, really good, and yeah. It's a good question. Oh, Mike's got a question. Mike
Actually,
B.
just a comment, Laura, just to remind everybody of one of the changes to the live broadcast this year. We will be hosting that through YouTube. And so make sure you let all your families and friends know that if they want to follow you and they can't make it out to the event, that you're checking out the YouTube channel. So there's actually the live streams are posted there right now. So it's actually separated into two. So we'll have one that's scheduled for Saturday that will run from 8:30 a.m. until around 9 p.m. We're going to play that by ear. And then it'll start back up the next morning. I believe it was 7 a.m. till around 9:30 a.m.
Okay.
And so make sure you let everybody know about that. And then also, I just wanted to thank everybody that did fill out the questionnaire. We do use that to share information about our runners, and it's one of my favorite parts of the whole event. That if you haven't done that, no pressure, but if you'd like to still do that and share your story for all the viewers at home, I'd encourage you to send me off that information, and I'll make sure I work that into the live broadcast for all of you. But also just note, we're going to be having a full day of interviews, highlights. We're going to be introducing the crew cam. We tried to do that last year, but it didn't quite work out. But crew cam, starring our very own Erica Cam, that will be going into the crew pit to bring our viewers at home live action of what goes on behind the scenes. So lots of great stuff that we'll have the whole day during the live broadcast. So that's it.
I've got a question, and I'm looking up the answer really quick for you, Chrissy.
Krista.
The question
Sorry, I
was,
just see Krista's email, but where does the email come from? It came from the Survivorfest virtual logistics email. I can double check, Krista,
It
and send
comes
it out
as
to
your
everybody.
name. Shows up as your name on the email.
Oh, it
You can
does?
just
Okay.
the email shows Michael Berners. Yeah.
Oh,
Show your name.
oh, perfect.
No, if you don't send it in, I won't share your story because I might say something that's a little incorrect. I don't know.
For sure, there's people who said way worse things about me than you can. That's what we get.
So currently, so the question is how many athletes are on Loop A? And currently there is 34, and that doesn't count the 12-hour or 6-hour athletes, which we don't have very many. So maybe 37 at the most, which is a great number. Yeah. Yeah, amazing, right? Yeah, I can't wait to hug you, Chrissy. Okay, I think that's about it. Okay, so we're gonna let everybody go. I can't wait to see all of you on Friday. You're gonna be so sick of me by Sunday afternoon. Well, Sunday noon. So yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, hug you. Yeah, hug, hug, hug. Absolutely. So okay. This is great. We'll see you guys on Friday. Can't wait. Bye.